This video about real life is inspired by another Google laureate, this time named Mark.
Oh, hi, Mark.
A wise guy, eh?
Salutations, fellow nerds. I'm Rick Y, and today is May 29th, 2025. So here's what happened. Homeboy wanted me to know about science and biology and blah, 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 because I had the audacity to suggest that people who take testosterone or other drugs to boost testosterone are, in fact, participating in gender-affirming care. Mark, of course, isn't taking any hormones, definitely not. He just decided this was his moment to swan dive into a conversation uninvited and explain to me how I should go back to 6th grade and relearn the basics. The problem is, Mark doesn't seem to understand that there's a reason that we have grades beyond middle school. So let's talk chromosomes. You've probably heard this or something like it before. There are only two sexes, XX and XY. It's basic biology. This is a phrase that's repeated like gospel in comment sections, political stages, and classrooms that haven't updated their textbooks since Friends was still on air. But here's the thing. Human biology? It's a lot more complicated. And honestly, it always has been. We're not here to argue. We're here to learn, because once you understand how diverse chromosomes and sex development really are, you'll realize something very important. Nature never signed off on the binary. Humans did. So here are some basics. Most humans are born with 46 chromosomes arranged in 23 pairs. One of those pairs, the sex chromosomes, is either XX or XY. Typically, two X's develop female characteristics, and X and Y male characteristics. Simple enough, right? Well, not exactly. That framework works for a lot of people, but it doesn't work for everyone, and pretending that it does erases the existence and the dignity of millions of people whose biology doesn't fit that mold. Let me introduce you to a few conditions that exist entirely within the realm of biological fact, no politics needed. Turner syndrome. Only one X chromosome. Individuals are female but may be shorter in stature, infertile, and have other medical needs. It affects about 1 in every 2,500 female births. Klinefelter Syndrome, XXY. These individuals are assigned male at birth, often identify as men, but may experience reduced testosterone, infertility, or gynecomastia. That's 1 in every 500 male births, by the way. You might know Caroline Tulakossi, an international model and Bond girl who publicly disclosed that she has Klinefelter. She was outed by the media in the 80s, but went on to become a trailblazer for trans and intersex awareness. Triple X syndrome, 3 X's, often goes undetected. Many never even know that they have it. XYY syndrome, extra Y chromosome, typically male, often tall, also often undiagnosed. Androgen Insensitivity Syndrome, AIS, genetically XY, but the body doesn't respond to testosterone. Individuals are often assigned female at birth. They appear female externally and may not learn their chromosomal status until puberty. In fact, there's a Belgian supermodel by the name of Anna Gaby Odiel who has AIS. She came out publicly and now advocates for intersex youth, speaking against non-consensual surgeries done on children to normalize their bodies. Jazz singer Eden Atwood also has AIS and has used her platform to educate about the emotional toll and secrecy that often surround these diagnoses. These aren't glitches. They're not footnotes. They're documented, studied, medically recognized biological variations in humans. They're not fringe. They're human. So what does this mean for biological sex? Well, what does all this mean? It means that sex isn't binary. It's a spectrum. It's not just about what's in your pants. It's about chromosomes, hormones, receptors, timing, and a dozen other factors or more. Biology doesn't always line up the way that a middle school quiz might suggest. Sometimes it doesn't even line up at all. And this is why actual doctors, actual scientists, and actual institutions treat sex as a complex characteristic, not a toggle switch. And when, not if, someone insists it's just XX or XY, they're really just saying, I stopped learning after the 7th grade, and I'm proud of that. But biology didn't stop evolving, and neither should we. But let's slow down for a second, okay? Just because someone is born with a chromosomal variation doesn't mean that their identity is invalid. Biology might describe how your body formed, but identity is how you live in it. Most people with Turner syndrome identify as women. Most people with Klinefelter identify as men. Some don't. And that's okay. Your chromosomes don't define your worth. Your genes don't control your character. Your medical history doesn't disqualify you from humanity. Caster Semenya, for example, is a 2-time Olympic gold medalist from South Africa, and she has been targeted and even banned from certain competitions because her body naturally produces higher testosterone, despite her being raised as a woman. That's not science, that's regulation and denial. We don't tell people with diabetes that they're not real humans because their pancreas doesn't work right. We don't shame people with heart conditions for failing biology, so why do we treat intersex people, trans people, or anyone who needs hormone therapy to live fully as if they're breaking any rules? They're not. They're living proof of how flexible and adaptive life really is. But sadly, some folks use biology like a bludgeon. They would wield phrases like objective truth and basic science as if they're playing Pokemon cards, hoping one will just trump a human life. But they're not quoting scientists, they're quoting slogans and bumper stickers. The same people who are fine with a man taking testosterone because he's low T will call a trans person taking the same medication a perversion. That's not science. You're being selective with your morality. And newsflash, science doesn't run on your feelings. If your argument can't survive a basic understanding of genetics variation and medicine, that's not a scientific argument. It's a fragile belief looking for someone to blame. So here's the big picture. Human biology is messy and complex. It's full of variations, it overlaps, and has exceptions. That's not a failure. That's just how nature works. There are people alive with XO, XXY, XXX, or XYY chromosomes. Some identify as men, some as women, some as both, some as neither. But all of them are real, and all of them matter, and all of them deserve respect. So the next time someone says it's just XX or it's just XY, you can respond with, "You're not defending biology. You're defending your own discomfort." Because biology doesn't draw lines in ink. And the more we learn, the more room we must make for one another. If you appreciated this and want to keep pushing back against these antiquated brain droppings, go ahead and like and subscribe and share it with someone who still thinks Google has a PhD. Y'all come back now. You hear?